You thought your cousin's wedding with the chocolate fountain was fancy. Wait until you hear about the wedding where they flew in a private Beyoncé concert, or the one where guests were gifted diamonds as party favors. We're not talking about luxury, we're talking about mind-blowing billionaire-level extravagance. From custom Valentino gowns to castles rented for a weekend, these weddings make royal ceremonies look like backyard barbecues. Without wasting any time, join us and let's dive inside the most over-the-top, unbelievably expensive weddings the world has ever seen. And trust me, you'll never look at wedding planning the same way again. Let's kick this off with the royal wedding that practically stopped time, Prince William and Kate Middleton's big day in 2011. If you were alive and breathing, you probably saw at least a clip of it. The ceremony took place at Westminster Abbey, with the world watching, nearly 2,000 guests inside the church, and millions glued to their screens around the globe. Royals, heads of state, celebrities, you name it, they were there. Now let's talk money. The total cost? A jaw-dropping $34 million. Kate's dress alone, that now iconic gown designed by Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen, was estimated at around $434,000. And the flowers? Oh, they went big. We're talking over $800,000 just to fill Westminster Abbey and Buckingham Palace with the most elegant floral arrangements you can imagine. But where did the real chunk of the budget go? Security. Yep. Nearly $32 million of that total cost went into keeping the royal couple and their guests safe. We're talking snipers on rooftops, undercover agents, bomb-sniffing dogs, and airtight road closures. It was probably one of the most secure weddings in modern history, and honestly, for a future king and queen, that's not surprising. Next up is the absolutely wild wedding of Vanisha Mittal and Amit-Bhatia, which reportedly cost a jaw-dropping $66 million. If you've never heard of her, Vanisha is the daughter of Lakshmi Mittal, one of the richest men in the world and the steel tycoon behind ArcelorMittal. And let me tell you, he did not hold back when it came time to walk his daughter down the aisle. First off, the venue. They rented out a 17th century French chateau just outside of Paris. Yes, a literal castle. The wedding celebration lasted a full 5 days and over 1,000 guests were flown in, first class, of course. It was like a private jet parade landing in France. And get this, they held one of the ceremonies at the actual Palace of Versailles. That's the former residence of Louis XIV, like the kind of place you visit on a European vacation, except they rented it. The entertainment? None other than pop star Kylie Minogue, who gave a private concert just for the couple and their guests. That performance alone reportedly cost over $300,000. And to top it all off, literally, they launched a massive fireworks show over the Eiffel Tower. I mean, how do you even top that? From lavish jewelry to custom designer outfits, gourmet food prepared by top chefs from around the world, and luxury gift bags for guests. Everything about this wedding screamed over the top in the best way possible. This wasn't just a celebration. It was a billionaire flex disguised as a love story. Next on our list is another royal wedding that literally stopped the world. Prince Charles and Princess Diana's big day. $48 million. This wasn't just any wedding. It was the wedding of the century. It all went down in 1981 at St. Paul's Cathedral in London. Imagine over 3,500 high-profile guests filling the cathedral, royalty, world leaders, celebrities, you name it. But what made it truly next level was that around 750 million people around the world tuned in to watch it live on television. That kind of viewership today would break the internet. Now let's talk about the glamour. Diana's dress? Absolutely legendary. It was made of ivory, silk taffeta, and antique lace, with a jaw-dropping 25-foot train that had to be folded carefully just to fit inside the carriage. The gown was hand-embroidered with over 10,000 pearls and sequins, and it wasn't just pricey, it was historic. Back then, the dress alone was worth about £9,000, which is roughly $36,000 today. And just in case something went wrong, they even had a backup dress made in total secrecy. The whole vibe of the wedding was just on another level. The floral arrangements inside St. Paul's and back at Buckingham Palace were lush and elegant. Nothing too loud. Just perfectly royal. They cost thousands, even by 1980 standards. And of course the cake, or should I say cakes? There were 27 wedding cakes made for the occasion. The main one stood over 5 feet tall and was crafted by the Royal Navy's baking school. You can imagine the level of detail. Now the ring, Diana chose it herself. It wasn't custom made, which actually caused a bit of a stir at the time. It was a 12-carat oval sapphire from Ceylon, surrounded by 14 solitaire diamonds and set in white gold. Back then, it cost about £47,000, which would be around $150,000 now. And yes, that's the same iconic ring that Kate Middleton wears today. But the real jaw-dropper? The security bill. The British government reportedly shelled out close to $20 million just to ensure the safety of the royal couple and their guests. We're talking snipers on rooftops, police lining the streets, military backup on standby. It was basically a state-level operation. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a full-on royal production, wrapped in tradition, elegance, and a kind of fairy tale magic that the world still remembers. If you've ever wondered what a nearly $50 million wedding looks like, this was it. Isha Ambani and Anand-Piramal, estimated $100 million. Now this one? This wasn't just a wedding, it was a full-blown spectacle. We're talking about the wedding of Isha Ambani and Anand-Piramal. Isha, by the way, is the daughter of Mukesh Ambani, the richest man in India and one of the wealthiest people on the planet, so you already know the bar was set sky high. The entire celebration reportedly cost around $100 million, and when you break it down, that number starts to make a lot of sense. Let's start with the pre-wedding party, which wasn't your average rehearsal dinner. It took place at the ultra-luxurious Oberoi Udevolas Palace in Udaipur, a place where rooms can run up to $8,000 a night. The palace was completely taken over for the festivities, transformed into a royal wonderland with lavish decor, floating candles on lakes, floral arrangements that could fill a stadium, and an actual Ferris wheel installed for the event. Yeah, a Ferris wheel. And then there's the guest list. We're talking global A-listers. Beyoncé performed a full private concert for the couple and their guests. That's right, Queen Bey herself, in a custom red and gold Abujani Sandeep Khosla outfit, lighting up the stage in a private gig that's rumored to have cost upwards of $4 million. That's not even counting travel, accommodations, or her entourage. But Beyoncé wasn't the only star in the room. The guest list included Hillary Clinton, Priyanka Chopra, Nick Jonas, and pretty much every Bollywood icon you can name. Private jets were reportedly arranged to bring in hundreds of guests. And we're not talking commercial flights. This was a full-on VIP airlift operation. As for the actual wedding ceremony, it was held at Antilia, the Ambani family's private home in Mumbai. But calling it a home doesn't really cut it. Antilia is a 27-story private skyscraper valued at over $1 billion. It has its own snow room, several helipads, a ballroom, and an entire floor just for car parking. Yes, the venue for the wedding was basically a vertical palace with views of the Mumbai skyline. The bride Isha wore a custom lehenga by Abujani and Sandeep Khosla, featuring intricate embroidery, fine crystals, and a dupatta that was part of her mother's own wedding sari, a blend of tradition and luxury. Anand wore a traditional sherwani with custom jewelry, and we're talking diamonds, not costume pieces. Even the wedding invitations were something else, designed in gold and delivered in custom monogrammed boxes. Each one reportedly cost over $1,000. Multiply that by a few hundred guests and you've already got a small fortune in stationery. This wedding was opulent, theatrical, and absolutely unforgettable. More like a week-long royal festival than a wedding. And honestly, that $100 million price tag might have been conservative. On the top of our list, we have the extravagant wedding of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, which cost over $100 million. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan's wedding in 1981 wasn't just a celebration. It was a full-blown spectacle that blurred the line between a royal ceremony and a historic national event. As the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, he had the kind of wealth that doesn't just turn heads. It sets new standards for what's even possible in a wedding. And let's be clear, this wasn't a one-day affair. The wedding lasted 7 full days, with each day bringing something more extravagant than the last. To start with, they literally built a stadium from scratch just for the occasion. Not rented. Built. It was specially constructed in Abu Dhabi to host the thousands of guests expected to attend, and we're not talking small-time dignitaries. Royals, world leaders, and powerful families from all over the Middle East and beyond were flown in for the celebrations. The festivities were grander than anything most people will witness in a lifetime. The grounds were filled with thousands of camels and Arabian horses, each paraded with ornate decorations and handled by trained staff in traditional attire. Folk performers, sword dancers, fire shows, and poetry readings kept guests entertained around the clock. Traditional Emirati music and performances echoed across the desert for days. And then there were the gifts. Oh, the gifts. Extravagant items, from gold coins and fine fabrics to jewelry and livestock, were reportedly handed out to guests and even spectators. It wasn't just a wedding, it was a cultural showcase of generosity and wealth. It felt like the entire country paused to take part in this celebration. As for the price tag, it was estimated at over $100 million, and that was in $1,981, meaning if you adjust for inflation, we're easily talking over $300 million today. That makes it one of the most expensive weddings ever recorded, if not the most. From the private stadium to the ocean of gifts and a non-stop festival atmosphere, this wedding wasn't just about two people coming together. It was about showcasing heritage, status, and wealth on a scale the world rarely gets to see. So guys, the next time someone complains about a $30 cake tasting or a destination wedding in Cancun, just remind them, there are people out here dropping millions like confetti. These weddings aren't just events, they're spectacles designed to stun, impress, and go down in history. But hey, whether it's a $100 backyard wedding or a $100 million castle blowout, it's all about love, right? Alright guys, that wraps up our video for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below which wedding blew your mind the most, and would you spend that much if money was not a problem? Tell us in the comment section below.